Video games. A favorite pastime of 3.1 billion people. Out of that massive group, 100 million love to third-party fights in Apex, 79.8 million have experienced this iconic intro, 28.7 million players have learned to get good when dealing with bosses, and one particular gamer, and I mean that loosely, has created a mountain out of a molehill. And though I haven't closely kept up with this situation in the beginning, though I wish I did for reasons I'll explain later, I have seen and heard some things that I can only see a very emotionally immature and logically underdeveloped teenager would do. But, you know, here we are now. So take a couple puffs of that vape and grab a pool noodle for safety, because we're gonna dive into this insane rabbit hole that is the Quantum TV quandary.
Quantum TV, the terrible gift that keeps on giving.
You won't believe this shit. This pussy ass, fucking weak ass, crybaby little bitch, Quantum TV. This dude, he reviews tech, he reviews TVs, he reviews video games. He was reviewing a video game. It was cringy. It was a bad review. Another small YouTuber named Mischief sat there and roasted him and said his review was fucking shit.
No matter what it is, if a game even remotely challenges someone, you will end up finding people like the guy we'll be looking at today, crying about it because God forbid a modern AAA title doesn't baby you through everything.
Quantum TV, no one's trying to cancel you over your take of Elden Ring. What people are angry at is your horrible, bigoted takes on the LGBTQ community.
Over the last few months, I've been getting slandered and maliciously attacked by the audience of Review Tech USA, The Act Man, Mischief, and a few other YouTubers who wanted to run with the line, Quantum TV is a copyright abuser.
And why filing false copyright takedowns is considered perjury, which is a crime under U.S. law, section 512F of the DMCA.
Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless.
Hey, go kill yourself, man.
So, as I'm sure you all know by now, Elden Ring is the latest game by From Software, the game dev best known for, in this particular case, their challenging Souls or Souls-adjacent games, with the latest release being one of the most acclaimed games they've made yet. And I'm gonna put this out here now. I have played one Dark Souls game, and I didn't last very long. I died to a mutated New Yorkian rat in the sewers and I immediately uninstalled. Yes, it was that tragic. Feel free to point and laugh at my young and silly naive self who even today will still suck at games like that. However, since my humiliating defeat, I have played some Souls-like games such as Sifu and Monster Hunter World, and I'm not gonna lie, Elden Ring is looking kinda enticing. But anyways, games like these are known for those who aren't easily defeated. So what's the issue? Well, there really isn't one, honestly. Let's see this guy.
The game should be called You Die. Again and again and again. The difficulty spikes when you get to certain bosses. It's so unfair that you'll find yourself spending so many hours losing time away from your life.
Yes, our guy Quantum didn't enjoy his experience. And while his opinion is his opinion, he also chose to be a complete dick about it. Very unnecessarily, might I add. Like, okay, I understand. You didn't like the game, though it genuinely seemed like you barely put in any effort while you played, or even any research on the game before jumping onto the bandwagon and buying it just to get mad because you didn't like the ride, but I digress. You wanted to talk about it? Okay, cool. You didn't need to include the you only enjoy this game if you don't have family, friends, or life with that added I'm happily married info that no one cared for or asked about. You told people that clowned you to off themselves, but then backtracked to the I only meant for you to die in game when we all heard you say what you said.
It's a challenge, and it has to be for players who think every game is fucking easy, and if you aren't one of those players, then you are a scumbag, you filthy casual.
At the end of the day, go kill yourself, man. At the end of the day, go kill yourself, man.
you serious?
Also, your genuinely dumb opinion that a game not made for everyone shouldn't be made is impossible to uphold. Like, if you didn't notice that humans are a very diverse group of creatures that are equally diverse in interests and preferences, so the suggestion of making something for everyone is laughable. Oh, and the thought pattern of insulting a whole community, then being Pikachu surprised when said community calls you a piece of shit for your takes is more than understandable to those that understand how people work. You can't be new to something, then assert yourself and your opinions as end-all be-all when you lack the experience and level of respect to do so. And honestly, the amount of salt you exude from your constant instigation of this is more than enough to give headaches, raise blood pressure, or worse.
I have osteoporosis.
But with that being said, let's move on to some of the other shitty things he's done.
This mailbox is mine, and this triagonal sign. That blue balloon, the month of June, they're mine, 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 mine.
So before I go any further, the concept of fair use is apparently confusing for some people. So let's be on the same page on what fair use actually is. Fair use is, in simple terms, any use of copyrighted material for genuine transformative content, whether it be for commentary and criticism, like how I'm doing now, or parody, and it protects against false claims of copyright infringement, or well, it's supposed to at least. So now that we understand what fair use is, let's get into the mess that Quantum made because he can't fathom this concept, which is both hilarious and sad as, yet again, he's talking about stuff he doesn't fully understand, yet wants to position himself as an expert of it. Imagine making a video with controversial and honestly very bad takes on a publicly accessed platform, and then through the next coming days, people make videos using yours for context while giving their own opinions on your opinion, and you don't like them. What should you do? Should you A, ignore everything and just keep making your content? B, take the valid constructive criticism and grow as a creator? Or C, go on a long crusade that includes creating and deleting several videos related to your first initial review and its notable follow-ups, make several false copyright strikes against videos made using your content, and go out of your way to threaten and cyberstalk creators who made said videos. If you said A or B, then obviously you have some semblance of sanity, and you'd also probably have a decent time being a YouTuber. But if you chose C, either you know what happened, you're joking, I hope, or you're Quantum TV, which in that case, hey, I'm sure you're not enjoying this video, which sounds like a personal problem, but also I'm sure the big strong alpha male gamer would love to strike down my big scary video because you don't like it. Good luck with that, fam. But yeah, he essentially tried to silence a handful of creators, including Mischief, Review Tech USA, The Act Man, Griffin Gaming, among many others, through copyright strikes under the guise of abusing copyright and not understanding what fair use is, or constantly whining to them in DMs. In the lucky ones, in the lucky situations, about removing their content so it can make him feel better about himself. Sweetie, if you didn't like the content people were making and what people were saying about you, you could just say that and leave it at that. I just find it very funny that a man who wants to seem unbreakable and macho also feels the need to hide any and everything that shows him in all of his gross glory. Though this isn't the only thing he's tried to hide. So aside from trying to snuff out videos made on him via the problematic and quite messy copyright system, he has also deleted some social media accounts and a blog that has done him no favors in the eyes of the people. This is one of the things I'm a little mad at myself for not keeping up with, as he has indeed deleted many of his videos that feed into most of this landfill of a mess. I will do my best to add any relevant info in here, but other than that, anything that doesn't have evidence, just take it with a grain of salt. Now, usually if someone deletes their social media accounts, it'd probably be praised as they're finally getting a hold of reality again and refuse to let themselves get swallowed by the anxiety that comes with them. But nah, in this case, it was to delete most of the evidence of him being a very hateful person. Well, attempt to delete? Oh, the internet never forgets.
By a now deleted article on his blog site that he claimed was posted by his moderators, even though he also at the exact same time claims to be a one-man army regularly, and on a blog site still linked to his YouTube, by the way, in which he goes on a genuinely insane rant about the LGBT community. It takes a hell of a lot of fucked up things to get me to say that someone should be removed off a platform. This is one of those cases. We should not have bigots like this on YouTube, especially when they've been rumored to have previously been banned from the platform for their bigotry. I mean, this guy actively went out of his way to spread COVID misinformation and voter fraud misinformation across Facebook, along with telling people he wants to beat up LGBT members and hoping for them to become shooting victims. Quantum TV was consistently found underneath The Last of Us 2 tweets from Naughty Dog saying some truly abhorrent things, like him saying he wants LGBT members to be mass murdered and removed from society. You can't make this shit up.
Yeah, this man does not like gay people or really anyone from the LGBTQ plus community. To kind of break the fourth wall here, I originally wrote this line to be as progressive as the Western world tries to be. But with the recent Supreme Court ruling about a certain law that shouldn't have been brought up for debate, which is a can of worms that I am debating on talking about, aside from that, there will always be people on the extreme side, and Quantum is one of them, as he wishes death on people that aren't straight. I personally find the statement of wondering why people of the community weren't victims of a hate crime just absolutely abhorrent, and frankly, to have this much hate in your heart over people that don't have any effect on your life is quite concerning. I'm just gonna include this silly yet somewhat good advice from a straight guy that supports the community.
To be honest, you need to be out there supporting that.
And why would I support this poop shoot pumper celebration?
Do you know the ratio of women and men in this country? Know how many bitches is out there?
Man, I don't know. 10 to 1? I don't know.
20 to 1, bro. Do you know what that means? For every one dude that any one of these motherfuckers turn out, that's 20 more chicks for you. Are you doing the math? If that dude sucks 2 straight dicks right now, that's 40 more chicks that just hit the market. I mean, just imagine a dude like me, who has a plethora of hoes. Just went full-fledged gay. I mean, I'm cum guzzling and all, nigga. Just like the porn bitches. That's 80 chicks that just hit the market.
Cum guzzling and all, huh? That was very graphic, but I'd never looked at it that way.
Well, you should, sir. Because your game is weaker than a fat man's bed springs.
You may have a point.
Plus, the way you talking about them ain't nothing but another form of racism. A straight person talking down on them and calling them the Rainbow Coalition is the same as a white man calling you a coon, grease monkey, or nigga with an ER. And I know you wouldn't like that, nigga.
This right here is real alpha male energy, if I do say so myself. But of course, he's somehow married. And I kind of question who would find this attractive. But, you know, the advice remains the same. There's no real good reason to dislike a group of people that don't harm you in any way, shape, or form. The people of this community, well, most of them, are literally just living their lives the way they want. And for you to be so offended by their pure existence raises a lot more questions on your side. How are they forcing their lifestyles on you at all? Like, you're not a child. You have control of your thoughts and actions. Though, of course, there's also no good reason to randomly call someone a pedo bear with no proof, and also calling someone a Satanist over how pictures and graphic design look on TVs. Also, he brings up the point that because he's a vegan, he can't be homophobic. That doesn't make sense.
Let me just kind of put this out there. It'd be very hard to be a vegan like I am and be homophobic. A vegan literally can't be homophobic.
Because see, he wants to equate it to the fact that, you know, there are some queer folk that do work in vegan joints that, you know, sell food and stuff. And sure, you can give them your money, but you can also still not like the people you give your money to. Like, have you not have you not seen other places that are, you know, I don't know. But also, being vegan, being vegan means that you don't eat meat or animal-based products? So like, if you don't eat meat, technically wouldn't that still make you homophobic? Because, you know, if you don't like sausage. Because, you know, if you like some sausage, just say that. But you know, I'm kidding on the vegan thing. We know that isn't true. Well, for average people, and we know Quantum is a special kind of guy. So, anyway, on to the next segment.
Being a Christian that reviews TVs. Being a Christian that sees blasphemy on TVs.
So as the situation has progressed and more videos have shown the lengths he was willing to go to justify his shitty behavior, he also felt the need to try to throw one stupid and one loaded accusation to people simply for the simple fact that they criticized him. Review Tech USA, one of the major players in this game, has been covering the Quantum TV situation since his story started making the rounds. Like anyone else talking about the situation, Rich has been giving his thoughts on what's been going on, and of course, Quantum really wanted to seem macho and proclaim that he isn't bothered by any of this, but also felt the need to call Rich a pedo bear, though with no proof.
Quantum TV apparently didn't think his consistent bigotry was enough for him to ruin his reputation and career, so he decided to do the atypical move from far-right extremists and slandered Rich from Review Tech USA via calling him a pedophile, with the literal only evidence he used being the fact Rich is a fan of Vosh and him insinuating Rich groomed me, even though I've never had any conversations with the guy outside of Twitter in public. I've never DM'd Rich once and he's never DM'd me once until today when I reached out to get a hold of Quantum's Forza Horizon 5 video.
What does getting a little too acquainted with the cucumber and him always surrounding himself with an interesting variety of birds have to do with inappropriately liking children? This man has hops because the conclusions he jumped to are ridiculous. But what's more crazy is that he calls another AV or audiovisual content creator, Stop the FOMO, a Satanist over using Lucifer's title screen to compare the visuals on TVs.
You can see in his history, he has actively gone and harassed other YouTubers for things as little as liking the Lucifer show, which, oh my god guys, I have to admit, I also am a massive fan of that show, and I can't wait for Quantum TV to also call me a Satanist for watching it, and to then proceed to cancel me even more than he's already tried to do.
Bro, are you okay? Maybe you should get a drink or smoke something. I'm not sharing, but like, you know, you should grab something because you need to relax. Imagine being so Christian, mentioning a fictional show on a mythical being makes you immediately pull out a crucifix screaming the power of Christ compels you. But then again, I am on strike 2 now because I am in the Rainbow Squad and I'm also into magic, so I'm pretty sure he prepped the steak for me or something at least, so I could also see him doing something crazy like that. Though that hasn't been the craziest thing he's done. This is also probably the most childish thing he will ever do, as of yet.
Those losers. Just some chumps I'm supervising. I gotta make sure they're doing it right. I feel sorry for you guys. You know who I feel sorry for? My mom!
I genuinely never thought a situation like this would happen outside of grade school or high school, and with everyone being an adult in this situation, It just continues to baffle me how this is happening in the year of our Lord 2022. But here we are. So, with another major player in this debacle, the Act Man made a video with his own takes talking about a few people who were mad because bad at Elden Ring. And of course, Quantum was one of them. You already know how this goes. He copyright struck the video, though thankfully it is back up, because man's not smart. But then Quantum thought he'd do something drastic to try to stop the Act Man from harassing, bullying, and demeaning him. Oh my. He called the Act Mom.
Yes, is this his mother? I'm calling on behalf of Quantum TV. Your son has been making a string of really defamatory posts about things he doesn't necessarily understand, and I want to try to talk about this. So, I'm trying to avoid any kind of litigation or lawsuit by talking things out. So, is there any way I can get in contact with him? Public records? Well, the issue is what? Your son is essentially sending a bunch of people after my business, which is, I'm a YouTuber in the same respect, but he's making threats of being able to cancel my content and stuff based off of tweets and posts that he's getting from other people, none of which are true, which YouTube will be able to ascertain, but these are now becoming libel claims. And I want to be able to, I guess, talk to him to kind of mediate this out so that we don't have to go to court over it. Because the damages that he's causing are quite substantial in monetary value. My YouTubes are about television reviews. I'm a bigot. I'm a homophobe. I'm committing penalty under perjury. Copyright abuse, as he uses third-party software to download my content off of my channel and then repost it after I delete it. Piracy isn't a victimless crime, as we know. By any means, if he's available to talk, or you're the guardian for him, I'd imagine, I can send over a cease and desist letter from my lawyer. This is to the point where it's getting out of hand. Yeah, if you can talk to him, because listen. I'm not devoid of reason, okay? I understand that we all have families and we all have opinions about things online, and that can be frustrating sometimes. He's under the misassumption that, A, I was trying to sue him to begin with because of this content. I was just looking into options to stop him from taking my content down. That's really all this is about. I did a video game review, he disagreed with it, his friends gave him my content, and they're basically sharing it all over the internet, making fun of my face and my image and my brand and lying about my results of my professional work, and it's getting to the point where it's affecting me on a monetary level. And it's something that's not necessary. Correct, yes. And this is the number, so you can, of course, call back and put Quantum TV as the contact if need be. My name, at this point in time, I'm pretty sure he already has that information through copyright claims. At this point, I want to limit the amount of information that we're giving out because I don't plan on doing a whole lot, if not necessary. You know what I mean? Well, if we're being completely honest here, your son is causing a lot of damages to my brand and to my reputation. And frankly, I really don't want to confirm on a phone call, which may or may not be recorded. I have no idea who I am or what my intentions are entirely. If you're comfortable with it, you can give him my phone number, and me and your son can have a conversation. No malice or anything behind this. I've actually never talked to him on the phone before. No, he's just primarily been going after YouTube, and again, I'm. Go ahead. Oh, he'll know exactly who I am, absolutely. Yeah, the phone number is the one I'm calling you from. Oh, I got it. So this is like a landline? Why do you need me to write it down? That's weird. Can't you look at the logs? It's not a prank call. This isn't a game. I'm not sitting here to cause trouble for anyone. So the only reason I don't want to give out my name is because, again, your son is causing trouble for me, and that's the whole reason for this call to begin with. And I want the trouble to stop and him to go back to making his video game videos, leaving me and my income and my livelihood and what we do in the real world away from what he's trying to drag in with all these claims of homophobia and a string of stuff. You can just go ahead and ask him. Now, again, it's understandable that they think that they understand some things, but the level he's taking it to is a bit extreme. And that's why I'm calling. Yeah, I just want him to leave me alone. He's harassing the hell out of me, really, if I'm being quite honest with you, ma'am. And I think at this point, it's to a point where if he doesn't stop that, I don't have the ability to go that route. I'd rather not drag a family through the mud given the times and the current status of the world. You understand what I mean? Like, we all have families and stuff we're trying to accomplish. So I'm not trying to derail anybody's livelihoods with something that could easily be talked out. So I'm trying to be the reasonable party, at least reach out. You know, be civil. The number that I got for him was basically disconnected, so I couldn't call him directly. Okay? Just tell him Quantum TV gave him a call, and if he wants, he can give a call back. Oh, I'm the owner. Absolutely, he'll be talking to me. Alright, bye. Hello, Quantum TV. No, you're good. This is an actual...
Let me ask y'all something. What grown adult calls another adult's parent over a video on the internet? Like, the trauma couldn't have been that bad it brought you back to the time someone in grade school roasted you or something, but like, dude, that's what therapy is for. So you don't carry this baggage with you all your life and project it onto people because it makes you look a little crazy. Now, while I can understand this tweet by the Act Man, I am not surprised in any way, shape, or form that Quantum immediately tried to play the victim card afterwards. Like, remember, this is the same man who called another man's mother. So the fact that he really used the, oh, now I have to fear for my life because this guy said he'll shoot me on sight. Honey, grow up. Now, we can all understand and know that when Act Man said it's on sight, he meant if you were on his property. At least that's how I read it. But, you know, it's not like you didn't make veiled threats to his mother. Like, who says, oh, we don't want anyone's family getting hurt or involved in this, when you directly involved them in the first place by calling them? Oh, the idiocy. But unfortunately, it only gets worse.
These are dark times, where the law has been reduced to rubble, and it's up to us to restore it to its former glory.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
So, two major videos in this whole situation were the Act Man going in depth on some of the accusations going against Quantum TV, and the result of trying to sound the alarm on such a disgusting person. However, things didn't really go according to plan. First off, the Act Man has in a few ways shown provably how Quantum is someone who, in a way, shouldn't really be on the platform due to committing perjury and abusing copyright tools, harming other creators. But a lot of that got lost in translation as the rest of the accusations, and again, some of his responses to events, haven't put him in the best positions. You know, making quirky tweets about doxing YouTube employees will never be a good look regardless. And yeah, I understand the frustration he was under and where he was coming from, as having some random butthurt guy with real estate for days on that forehead can call your mom over a video you made on them is beyond childish and weird. But, These tweets weren't it, Chief. And because of those tweets, YouTube demonetized his whole channel. And yeah, it was a very sad day. And you know, we'd hope that he would be able to get it back, as the punishment doesn't really fit the crime. But the world may never know. Psych, he got his shit back. Second off, some of the accusations against Quantum, like the hate speech and bannerbating, were flimsy at best and misunderstood at worst. Yes, the guy has said many repulsive things. But when statements are deleted constantly, you then get to the point where if a quote-unquote recovered screenshot was found, you'd be under the impression that it was real. Though there has been a fake screenshot floating around that has been adding fuel to the fire. Even though it does sound like something he'd say, it ended up not coming from him. See, adding fuel to the fire that would end up burning you isn't going to help the cause you're supporting, as it'll start to turn into a wildfire that ends up burning everyone around it, regardless of what side you're on. Thirdly, it's mind-blowing that YouTube took down Ackman's second video over sexual content. And I know we all watched the same video. If you genuinely think, if you honestly think that a cucumber by a dude's mouth is inappropriate, I question your level of maturity. On top of that, there are genuine inappropriate things on your site to remove, but you don't. So if you're gonna do this, I'm gonna need you to keep the same energy. Not because I ask, but because you should, as it'll keep the confusion and inconsistencies down to a minimum. Finally, regardless of the alleged questionable nature of his video, it is quite nice to have YouTube's own explanations of their terms of service, so we all have a crystal clear understanding of what rules they're a bit selective on. I'm just kidding. Well, partially.
Why do you keep doing that? You're broke.
Emotional damage!
Well, the dust had settled for a while, and it would seem that Quantum had stopped the false copyright strikes, till recently, when Repzion had put on his Twitter that he was indeed copyright striked by your favorite big-headed boy. However, YouTube thankfully denied his takedown request. To give a bit of background, Repzion is a commentary YouTuber who has been in more than his fair share of dramas and internet problems, most notably dealing with Onion Boy for, a decade. He has, in a way, been put to the test many times in dealing with other YouTubers on the intelligence spectrum. So, I'm sure this would be probably a walk in the park for him, but I really don't have much else to say on this, as this is the latest news that we've got recently. But I do have this theory. Quantum might actually be fucking around with the wrong person on this one. He's almost always threatening people on copyright and law, and if these two do end up going to court, I feel like Repzion might fulfill the wishes of the Act Man and actually clean him out. But only time and Quantum's ego will, of course, tell. There are quite a few talking points Quantum brings up often that honestly grinds my gears, so I just want to get into a few of those. 1. His complete misunderstanding and misuse of copyright information and strikes is beyond frustrating. He keeps bringing up the information on this stupid fair use square that is supposedly explaining what true fair use is, but misunderstands the whole thing. First off, commentary and criticism and/or critiques are indeed fair use, as they transform the experience of the original video to something new. It does not replace the need for your content, though. I'm sure there are people unwilling to watch your content as they wouldn't want to support or, increase or influence or in any way positively affect your engagement. It truly does not matter how much of the work they use, as long as most of it is both relevant for context's sake or they transform it enough through whatever means. Please, for your sake, stop using the 4 factors of fair use argument, as you clearly do not understand what fair use actually is, and it doesn't help your argument in any way, shape, or form. And this pick seems to come from something school related, and the court is not college. The faux macho attitude of his, where he tries to act like he doesn't care at all and this is all beneath him. The people bringing this up and trying to correct him are just a bunch of gamer losers. Though, again, supposedly none of this is supposed to bother him. But if it didn't bother you, why are you talking about it then? It completely contradicts this image you're trying very hard to project. Didn't someone ever tell you that the more attention you give to stuff, the more you'll see it? And also, while he loves to bring up the fact that this is all over a game review, he's missing the other half of the point. Sure, that god-awful review was indeed the catalyst, but your actions and reactions are what kept this train going. I'm not sure what the plan was with his abundance of responses, but it definitely didn't and still won't accomplish whatever he's trying to do. While it has been said that he's a gift that keeps on giving, it's a little hard for me to watch a grown man act this childish, but try his damnness to make it seem like he's not being a big baby about this. I also wish it didn't take me this long to make this, but honestly, even thinking about Quantum at this point drains my sanity, and I'm just glad to be done with it. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. If I missed anything, put them down in the comments below. Until next time, stay high, stay hydrated, stay out of trouble, please, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye!